It's 101.1 FM and AM 1160. In the studio with me this morning, a group of folks from Center Township, and one not here. That she's going to have to pound on the glass to get in now, because you guys, you're starring in the show here. So folks know who's speaking. Let's introduce everybody at once. You can each introduce yourselves.
I'm Lou Ann Zach. I am Assistant Director with the Indiana County Office of Planning and Development, and the county administers the Community Development Block Grant funds that we'll be discussing today that are providing the funding for the food distribution.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Jim Gatsky. I'm a Center Township Supervisor.
Matt Householder, Center Township Supervisor.
Dave Smyers, Center Township Supervisor.
All right, so that's the roster of folks in the studio with us here this morning. You can see them all on Facebook too. Everybody smile and wave to the Facebook folks. There you go. There you go. Jim, let's talk about this. What's happening?
We're having a food distribution on October 9th it'll be at the Coral and Grayston Fire Hall, Homer City Fire Hall, Altman Fire Hall, and Our Lady of Assumption Luzerne Mines. And this is for low to moderate income people. And one person can make up to $36,800. Two people is up to $42,050. And as you have more people in your house, that number goes up.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense.
Yes.
Makes absolute sense. So this is going to take place at 4 locations.
That is correct.
And what are the times on this day?
That is from 1 to 4 on
Mm-hmm.
October 9th.
Mm-hmm.
And to sign up, you will either call 724-479-2688, and that's Sarah Smith for the Center Township you'll be talking to, but you can call there from Homer City Borough, it doesn't matter, and the township.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Now, is it absolutely necessary that people sign up ahead of time?
We'd recommend it.
You recommend?
Yes, and you could also call ICAP, and their number is 724-463-7440.
All right. So recommended, not absolutely necessary, but you'd like to know.
We'd
Yes.
like to know
A
a
number.
rough estimate of how many boxes we have to provide.
Yeah. So, Luann, tell me about how this all comes together and how Center Township, Homer City are able to get involved in doing this.
Yes, and we do want to emphasize that the residents of Homer City Borough are also included. And the reason this program has developed is because of the CARES Act funding that the federal government passed in March of 2020. There is what is called the Community Development Block Grant, and we call them CV, coronavirus funding.
Mm-hmm.
And it is specific funding that has to address activities that prepare for, prevent, or respond to situations that arose because of the coronavirus pandemic. And because of that, I know the supervisors, because typically when you think of townships, you think of road pavement.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot use this money for that. So what they were asked to do is to look at eligible activities that could assist with responding to what was going on with the pandemic. And at the time, because of the shutdown, a lot of families weren't able to go to work, the kids weren't able to go to school, and food was a big need. So
Mm-hmm.
they had decided to allocate their funds for the food distribution, and so had the county commissioners. And that is the big reason why we can also assist the Homer City Borough residents. And just because of the geography down there, Homer
Sure.
City is surrounded by Center Township,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't want to leave anybody out. And people can also sign up on ICAP's website for the application if they're technologically savvy. They are welcome to do that also. So there's many ways to get in touch. If by chance, for some reason, they are unable to contact somebody or they're just not aware of it until the last minute, please just show up at 1 o'clock on October 9th at one of the 4 locations.
Yeah. Again, that's Coral Grayston Fire Hall, Homer City Fire Hall, Altman Fire Hall, and the Our Lady of the Assumption Parish in Luzerne Mines. And And who knows, you might even be able to make a special request that one of the supervisors will load your car.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, Jim, when we think about the allocation of the funds and determining, well, what's the best way that we can help the most people, how did Center Township come to that conclusion that food is the need?
Well, whenever they more or less told us that food was pretty much what we could only really use this for, that's the route we went.
Yeah.
Okay. And I wanted to go on there and say there are 4 things that we're going to have in this box. It's going to be a dairy box, it's going to be fresh veggie box, a non-perishable box, and a meat box.
Oh, okay.
So it's very, very nice thing we're going to have.
Yeah, and so folks, they're not just getting the traditional non-perishables, and somebody else has come into the room.
This is Amy. Amy Kemp.
Hi, Amy.
She's ICAP.
Yes, she is. Amy is from ICAP. She's been here before. Amy, step up to the microphone, if you will. As you know, and as you have told us before, there are many needs that have been created by the pandemic, and certainly ICAP is happy to be a part of this food distribution.
Absolutely, and it's so
Come on
nice
up closer to
be
the
able
microphone, please.
So nice to be able to work with other members of our community to help people out. So
Yeah, and so ICAP is very much involved in this and in other efforts. The food bank itself is still open, still operating.
very much so.
Not only in Center Township and Homer City Borough, but ICAP it services all of Indiana County.
Right, we have 17 food pantries throughout Indiana County. We have our Power Pack program that serves every school in Indiana County, and our senior program, that's all of Indiana County as well.
Yeah.
So we're a little bit of everywhere.
Yeah, and that's such a good thing because so many people have needs. Jim and your fellow supervisors, let's not just make it the Jim Gatsky show.
No, that's fine.
Some of you other fellows step up here this morning, and so again, so folks know who's speaking. Come on up closer to the microphones, and you can each tell the listeners whose voice they're hearing.
This is Dave Smyers.
The distribution itself and the needs that you see in Center Township and in Homer City Borough, they're not unusual for any area of Indiana County, but it's good that the supervisors can get involved in helping to reach out to see what they can do to help.
Yeah, well, we like to lend a helping hand anywhere we can, and maybe if we can provide someone a box of food, they can use their money for something else. It could be a pair of shoes or whatever other items they may need for them or their children.
Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? That you're going to have needs, and this will be able to let you shift those funds that you had to use for food in order to help somebody else or some other need that you might have. All right. Anything else we need to let folks know, Luann?
What I'd also like to say is if you know of anybody in the community that is unaware, maybe they're incapable of calling and letting the supervisors know or ICAP know that these people they are unable to drive to one of the 4 locations, please contact the township supervisors, and arrangements can be made to deliver boxes to people that are possibly shut-ins. They're the ones that probably, and I don't want to say probably, that need the assistance. And I want to emphasize, this isn't just for low income. This is for moderate income. So please take advantage of your government dollars coming back into your community. The funds are spent locally as much as possible, so that money is generated throughout to pay for different salaries and just as good for the economy. So please take advantage of it.
Yeah, that brings up a good point. Jim, I don't know if you can address this or somebody else, but where does the actual food come from?
So
Amy, come on up here to the microphone
Amy.
again.
this is Amy.
It's an Amy thing, huh?
We sourced meat from Cunningham's, and we're getting Turner's Dairy boxes, which sources locally.
All local.
Yeah, local milk and local farmers.
Yeah.
So everything's kind of kept local. So.
Yeah, and that makes it even more
Right, and the produce boxes that we're getting in, they're all from local farmers as well, or other farmers throughout Pennsylvania. So it might not be right in Indiana County, but it's still within Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, okay. All right, so Jim, if you want to give those numbers again for people to register
Okay.
and
724-479-2688. That is Center Township, and you'll be talking to Sarah Smith, and I wanted to tell everybody that she'll answer you, and if she don't get a hold of you, she'll call you back.
and Homer City Borough residents should
Homer
call
City
that number
Borough
too.
calls that number too.
Okay.
And the other numbers I cap it at 724-463-7440.
All right, there you go. It's Saturday, October 9th, 1 to 4, 4 locations: Coral Grayston Fire Hall, Homer City Fire Hall, Altman Fire Hall, Our Lady of the Assumption Parish, and Lucerne Mines. Anything else we need to make folks know of?
Very easy to call. All you got to do is answer 2 or 3 questions, and that's it.
There you go. There
On
you go.
that note, if you aren't able to to reach us whenever you want to call in to register, you are able to register the day of the distribution.
Oh, okay. Okay, there you go. There you
People on
go.
Social Security will qualify too. Anybody over 65 probably.
Anybody over 65?
I would say would qualify.
Yeah, you're qualified too, and you're not talking about income limitations there. But middle to low income, you folks are eligible. And Jim gave the income eligibility limitations, and they're fairly liberal. So you have a good chance that you're going to qualify for this food on Saturday, October 9th, those 4 locations. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for coming in to visit with us this morning. We appreciate that. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.